What's going on everyone? Welcome to the channel and welcome to another delicious recipe video. It's been a while since I've made a dessert, so in this one we're going to be creating the most decadent, smooth and melt in your mouth salted caramel peanut butter tart. This one is seriously amazing, so please sit back, relax and enjoy. Alright guys, let's start this off with 275 grams of Oreo cookies, and I've removed the cream, which I'll leave an important note about in the description below. The first thing we want to do is chuck the cookies into a food processor, pop the lid on nice and tight, and blitz these up on the highest setting just until they resemble a fine crumb. Also, don't worry if you don't have a food processor, this can be easily done by hand, which I'll leave a note about in the description below. Once you have a fine crumb, switch off the machine, pop open the lid and pour in 100 grams of melted unsalted butter, which is going to make our base firm up, along with half a teaspoon of sea salt flakes, which is going to make your mouth salivate. Pop the lid back on and then turn the food processor back onto the highest setting and blitz the crumb until it looks like wet sand, which will only take about 10 seconds and you may have to give the bowl a scrape. Anyway, once that's done, we can turn the machine off and this is now ready to be our base. The next job is to oil or butter a 24cm round tart tin and line the base with parchment paper. Pour in the crumb that we just made, making sure to scrape it all out of the bowl to avoid any wastage. Then using anything with a flat surface, firmly press the crumb down into the base and sides of the tin, making sure that it's all evenly spread out. And then once that's done, you should end up with something that looks like this. Now to make our salted caramel peanut butter, place a large saucepan onto your stovetop over a medium heat and chuck in 7 tablespoons or 100 grams of unsalted butter, which we're going to allow to melt. Once melted, tip in half a cup or 110 grams of brown sugar, which is going to help soften the caramel as well as deeply colour it. And all we want to do is continuously mix this together until it resembles lava, which will only take about 1 to 2 minutes. Once that's achieved, turn the saucepan off and immediately pour in 395 grams or 1 can of sweetened condensed milk, which is going to be our soft caramel. Give that a good mix until it's fully incorporated and looking really smooth. Then to take our caramel to the next level, we're going to pour in 1 cup or 280 grams of natural peanut butter, which I'll leave my link to in the description below, and sprinkle in 1 teaspoon of sea salt flakes, which is going to make your mouth salivate. Give the mixture a really good mix until it's fully incorporated and really smooth. We can then remove this from the stovetop and pour it into the base. And is it just me, or is this extremely satisfying? Once that's done, make sure to level it out, just so when it's done, the tart's nice and even, but you'll most likely find that it will do it itself. Once that's done, we can place the tart onto a baking tray for easier transport around the kitchen, and we can then place this into a preheated oven that's been set to 160 degrees Celsius or 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and bake for 12 minutes or until golden and bubbly. After 12 minutes, open up the oven, being careful of any escaping heat, and remove that golden and bubbly tart. Now we want to place the tart onto a cooling rack or heat resistant surface and allow this to cool for 15 minutes. In the meantime, to make a chocolate ganache, place a small saucepan onto your stovetop and add in 150 grams of good quality dark chocolate, as well as 1/3 of a cup or 80 milliliters of thickened or whipping cream. Place this over a low heat and continuously mix it around just until the chocolate melts and is really smooth. Once that's done and the chocolate's extremely smooth, we can turn it off the heat and remove it from the stovetop. We can then pour over that delicious melted chocolate all over that set salted caramel peanut butter. Spread it out to get a nice even layer, making sure that the whole top is covered. And then once that's done, allow this to sit out of the fridge for 10 minutes to very slightly set. Now this part's optional, but I'm going to sprinkle over 1/4 of a cup of chopped and toasted unsalted peanuts for a great texture as well as presentation, and we can then place this in the fridge to set from anywhere between 2 to 24 hours. Then 24 hours later, we can take the tart out of the fridge and very carefully pop it out of the tin, but please be careful here as we don't want to have gotten this far only to break the tart. Once you have that out, with a butter knife or palette knife, we then want to carefully remove the base of the tin, which will be stuck to the bottom. And then if the parchment paper didn't come out of the tin, you'll also want to remove that. Now using a sharp, hot and dry knife, we can gently cut our slices out, and a quick little tip to keep the caramel clean, just wipe the knife between each cut, just so you don't spread chocolate throughout it. Once you have the slices out, we can then reveal that beautiful and golden salted caramel peanut butter, and how good does that look? And then finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, we can then dig in. That is seriously so good. It's kind of bad because it's so addictive, but everything about that is so good. The texture is so smooth, the flavor is so sharp and rich and decadent, and that peanut butter really shines through with that salted caramel. This recipe will easily serve 12 people, and with any leftovers, if there are any, you can chuck it in the fridge for up to 4 days, or you can place it in the freezer for up to 3 months. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I was able to teach you something. If you did, be sure to smash that like button and consider subscribing to see hundreds of more fantastic recipes. Thanks for watching everyone, stay safe and enjoy.